I was told by my doctors running probably wasn't going to happen for me.
I was very depressed. I was upset. Running was a part of me and who I was, and I had just gone through something traumatic. I lost part of myself.
I wanted to run, but nobody was really telling me how to do it. And then I realized it was really my responsibility. I had to take control of it and figure it out myself. My name is Maria. I'm a wife, a mother, a runner, and a septic shock survivor. So in June of 2014, I went into septic shock from a strep infection I didn't know I had. I was in the hospital for a total of 7 weeks. During that time, all of my organs failed.
I got another phone call from a family member, and they had said, you know, this is really serious. I mean, my heart just sank.
So they put me on pressor meds to keep all the blood flow to my organs, and it took away all the blood flow to my extremities. So when I woke up, my feet were black from my ankles to the tips of my toes. In October of 2014, I had all my toes amputated.
The first time I put on a pair of OOFOS was actually right after my follow-up visit with my podiatrist. Prior to wearing my OOFOS, I was walking on the outside edge of my feet because it was just too sensitive and too much. I called into customer care. I was able to speak to Linda.
When I first met Maria and heard her story, I knew she was remarkable.
And then she was able to tell me what shoes would be best for me and how the sizing would fit, and she was just fantastic. I actually still have her voicemail.
Hi, Maria. It's Linda Jarrow calling from OOFOS. I want to let you know that I brought your story up with the owners and the president of our company, and I wanted to share your story. You were such an inspiration as to somebody that has such a positive outlook, and we want to be part of that recovery process. I want to figure out how we kind of keep you in our shoes, take care of you that way. Okay? I'll talk with you real soon. I hope you're having a great day.
It made me cry. I just consider her like a good friend now. I had to learn how to walk again and walk in the right way if I was ever going to move forward on my journey to run again.
The first thing I needed to do was get my strength back because I was really deconditioned, really weak. So I hired a personal trainer. They wanted somebody who was going to be tough on me, somebody who wasn't going to coddle me or treat me any different just because I didn't have my toes. And Darren ended up being that person for me.
As a trainer, training somebody like her and to see where we started and where she is now is inspirational. We had a lot of difficulty with basic exercises in the beginning, basic movements like a plank. How do you plank with no toes and where your foot is actually like falling out of the sneaker? So how do you balance? So there was a lot of challenges with that, but we were able to work through it.
He knew when to push me, and then he knew when I was really in pain or there were certain things that I just couldn't do.
And when she started seeing differences and feeling better, her demeanor and attitude and desire changed to this like a bigger goal.
When I actually got to run, I felt like me again. And as soon as I left, I called my husband. I was so excited that I actually got to run because I finally felt like after being sick, I lost a lot of who I was. But when I got to run on the treadmill again, I felt like me.
The amount of strides that she's made is amazing. I brag about her all the time. She's one of my favorite people. She's one of my favorite clients.
The best thing for me to do was to run in more of a minimalist type sneaker, so I would be able to feel the ground when I'm running. So I would strike in the right way and I wouldn't be rolling my ankle. I've done a number of half marathons. I actually ran the half marathon I was training for before I got sick. I thought, okay, just want to run this. After I run it, I'm done with the half marathons, don't want to do it anymore. But once I finished it and I was able to accomplish that goal, I kind of got the itch to do another one.
I wrote a book. It's called I Am a Runner, The Memoirs of a Sepsis Survivor, and it tells my story of who I was before I got sick, what happened when I was sick, and then my comeback to be able to run again. My new goal is to run a full marathon.
So I'm hoping that this will help spread awareness. I'm hoping too that it will help inspire people to reach their goals no matter what they are. Most of the time, the obstacles we think we have are things that we tell ourselves that we can't do, or we allow other people to tell us that we can't do. But if you know in your heart it's a goal that you want to reach, then I think anything is possible.
Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready to crush my goal.
In the summer, I try and keep my mileage to no more than 6 or 7 miles, because anything over that, if it's really hot and humid, it's just not good. I get too much nerve pain on my feet. I get swelling. I'm in danger of getting blisters if it gets too bad.
So it's days like this that I can't wait to take my sneakers off and put my OOFOS on, because they immediately take away my nerve pain and give me the relief that I need after my runs.
Best temps for me to run in is when it's like 40s, 50s, when my feet don't swell. In the fall months, I would say 6 to 8 miles, 2 days a week. And then on the weekends, I ramp up and I do my long runs. So the last one that I did was 16.5 miles. When I am out for a run, because I run in the minimalist sneaker, I feel every rock, I feel everything along the ground. So when I come back, my feet are actually very sore. So I look forward to coming home, taking off my sneakers and putting on my OOFOS, because they actually help absorb the impact that my feet just had during the run. It allows me to function for the rest of the day instead of having to stay off my feet. So I'm excited. I have a trip planned to go to Asheville to actually see Sarah. We're going to do a little training together, a little yoga, a run together.
Sarah and I were able to go for a 5-mile run today in beautiful Asheville. And the cooler temperatures are great, especially for my feet.
Are coming down now to like the last few weeks. Sarah and I have agreed to run the race together, and we're also going to motivate each other.
And I don't want to try to rush and beat any personal times. I just want to like run each mile with Maria.
And enjoy it.
Well, enjoy it and be there to encourage each other.
So as part of my active recovery, when I come back from a run, what I'll do is I do a quad stretch. I stretch out my calves, and then I actually do a bended knee heel raise for active recovery. Put on my OOFOS. Part of running is mental, and I think that's what people say the hardest part is, and that's the part that I'm struggling with right now. So yoga has really helped, especially with running. It also helped me with like mental strength, because for me, like knowing that I can do a toe stand without any toes is huge. Knowing that I can balance on one leg is huge. When you just have like an open mind and focus, your body just responds.
I can't say enough how much of an inspiration she has been for me from the start. And then she inspires and motivates me to do bigger things than I ever dreamed I would do.
So I'm getting excited about tomorrow. I can't believe it's actually here. The mental part of running this race is the hardest part for me. So I'm gonna just take it mile by mile, water stop by water stop, and just focus on the short little goals that I'm making instead of thinking about running 26 miles. So it's emotional in that this has been a goal of mine for a while, and I've trained really hard to get to this point. I also feel like I'm not just running for me. There's a lot of people looking at what I'm doing, and if I make it, then they know that they can do it. You know, I think this might be my only marathon, so I look at it as my one chance to do this.
I think what motivates me is knowing that what I'm doing and putting my story out there is helping others. That motivates me to keep going, because there are some days where I just want to say, forget it, I'm done. You know, when it gets mentally tough or I get overwhelmed and I wonder why I'm doing this. I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it so other people can see what I'm doing and hopefully encourage them to reach their goals.
So I am very proud of my accomplishment. When I look back at where I was, you know, after surviving septic shock, losing my toes, and working so hard to get where I got, to be able to run 26 miles and run my first marathon, I'm very proud of my accomplishments. Now there's no stopping me.